take my hand, I will walk with you. I won't let go till you say so.
Hello guys, and welcome to Till Vacuum Do Us Part. Today we're going to be working on some home projects. Basically, if you want to update your space or elevate it a little bit, I've got some projects you can do yourself without spending a ton of money. So the first area I wanted to work on is inside our bedroom, and it was our nightstands. I bought these nightstands when we lived at our last house, and they were perfect. The scale was right. Even in this house, I love the color, I love the style, but the width is off. You can tell the height's not even bad because I've balanced it out with a really tall mirror, but we have a lot of gap on the sides of them. So I was wanting to get bigger ones, but they can be several thousands of dollars. So I got on IKEA and they were a couple hundred versus a couple thousand. So I thought, what the hey, I ordered them. They actually delivered them to my area, which doesn't happen a lot. So I'm gonna have Chase assemble these and we can see if they're gonna work out in this space.
Sometimes I wonder where you came from. You are special.
Anytime you purchase something from IKEA, keep in mind that you're going to be assembling it yourself. This is kind of where you save your money. So either you can do it, a spouse can do it, maybe you can have a friend over to help. I know there's a fee where you can like have someone else assemble it. It will save you some money, and you can get some pretty good pieces, so you could check them out. But anytime we're assembling something like this, I have Chase just put like the shell together so I can see the size, I can see the color, I can see the shape and make sure I like it before the hard stuff starts. This actually isn't the hard part right now. Doing like drawers can be really time consuming, so we don't do that until I make sure I love the piece.
For the best ride, want this to last for the rest of our lives. Without you, there is no tomorrow.
Another money and time saving tip is if you can find it on Facebook Marketplace, do it. That's the first place I always search. If I could have found these, I would have bought them used and been 110% happy, just because we didn't have to spend the money, we didn't have to pay delivery fees, and we didn't have to assemble them. So anytime we buy a new piece and it requires assembly and we have multiple, I always start off with one because I want to make sure I like it. And then I did not have him build the drawers out yet because that's the hardest part. I wanted to make sure I liked the size, like the height, the width, and the color. And I like all those things but the color. He's looking for his toy. And what's funny is it almost matches this door, but it's just enough off that it's pulling, like in real life, almost an orangey pink color. I don't like it at all. So basically, we have to take it apart, put it in the box, and ship it back. That's why I don't build the drawers out first, because those take so much more time and you don't want to have to undo them. And it would have just been more work to take apart. So that's why I have it leaned up like that. So we'll find something else. This next home project is super easy. I wanted to show you that sometimes it's not about painting, it's not about assembling, it's not something that's major. Just tweaking like some small pieces can really make a huge difference in the space, even if it is just a vacuum or a basket full of blankets. So much happier with this. Basically, you don't see it. Like when you're sitting here, we're not staring at, like, you know, it's just a cleaning tool. It's a vacuum. Over here, you're never gonna notice it because even if you're sitting here, it's like back behind you. And we're never in here with the lights on. Like even right now filming this with the lights on is just crazy to me because it's always dark because we're watching TV or shows. So that worked out nicely.
Like two magnets we are drawn.
Now, instead of taking that very shallow, although it was wide, it was a very shallow basket and it just looked like all the blankets were exploding out of it, I grabbed this taller one off Amazon. I can get it linked for you. I will say I just pulled it out of the box, so it's gonna have to get its shape a little bit. If I could have found like a solid basket, I would have, but I've been looking for weeks and couldn't find it. But this is gonna be perfect. It's gonna have them tucked and hidden away. Dust can't get on them, bugs can't crawl in there, plus it's not like overflowing. And like I said, once this basket gets its shape, it's gonna work so much better. But already looking at that is so much better than staring like at the vacuum or the basket that's just like exploding with blankets. So much better. I wanted to show you with the lights off. This is how it actually looks when I'm in here. I feel like that's perfect. It's up close. It has a lid, so I feel like people file in here first, maybe here, but typically here. They can see the blankets, grab them if they need to. It has a lid, so I'm not worried about them getting dirty or anything like that. And then people watching this, like, I feel like that doesn't bother you, where all I would do would look at that when it was there. And then that's nice and tucked away. All I have to do is take this out. So little changes make a big difference, or they feel better. I still have projects I want to do in here. I'm not sure if it's going to happen in this video. Maybe it will. I need to just place an order. But I want to put some like wall like light sconces up here that you would see like in a movie room. I need to do something on this wall. Chase would kind of like some movie posters. We just haven't found any we like yet, so they could either go up here. I think that would be distracting. I think back here we could do movie posters. And I'm not sure like if we'll touch this wall. I kind of like just the TV being on it, but I feel like we could do a few more things to kind of like spice it up in here. I could even add like wall sconces on here, like light ones that like shine up and down like a movie theater. So when you come in, it feels like it. Plus all I can see right now is my Christmas tree right here. I think it'll be so cool during movie nights, having a Christmas tree right there while we're watching like Elf and all the good movies. Update on our master bedroom. I have not found nightstands yet, and I just don't want to rush into it. I like these, like they're fine. I just want to eventually find really massive ones when I can, but I'm not going to rush into something that I don't like. I've been debating putting curtains here. So when we were building the house, I bought curtains for it. So I have everything from IKEA that I need, like the rod, all the hooks, all the curtain panels. And I love just seeing straight out, but I think I finally decided to go ahead and do it. And I mean, I'm just gonna frame the windows, so you're gonna still get the same view. I'm gonna do a panel here, 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 and here, and not block the window at all. I love right now that it's like so open and modern. I don't know, but I feel like I need to try it. Turn the lights on. Worst case, we have to take them down and we'll just putty the holes and repaint it. But I'm thinking it'll give just more of like, not like a romantic, but just, I don't know, some type of flow in here. But I also love not having them. So I don't know, in 5 seconds I might change my mind, because it looks really good and clean and crisp without them. I'll probably have Chase like hold up a few just so I can try to picture it. But I feel like this is one of those things I'm always gonna wonder until we try it. And then if I don't like it, we take it down, we fix the holes, and then we just act like it never happened. Just a little sneak peek at the next project once we're done with the curtains. It's this under cabinet lighting. Chase has been dying to put it up since it came in, but I haven't been ready to film. But basically it just sticks underneath here. I don't know if there's a remote with this. I'll have to look at it. If not, there'll be a button on here, but you can just stick it underneath your cabinets and then have under cabinet lighting. So we have this in our kitchen, and it's like our builder installed it, but it's basically the same concept. You see that? It's just like stuck on there, other than this one's hooked up to a light switch, so I can turn it on and off at the same time. And here it'll be a little bit different, but I think it'll just be really nice to have, especially in the evening. Adding curtains to a space is really going to elevate it if you do it the correct way. So You don't have to have super nice high-end curtains. Basically, I wanted the high-end look, but I wanted it for less. You could even do it cheaper if you just did like a rod with normal curtains, but I wanted that high-end, very luxe feel where they're pleated. But if I were to have those custom made for my windows, it would have been several thousands of dollars. I have a lot of windows in my house. I have a 10-foot ceilings. You need to hang your curtains from your ceiling down to your floor, and it's going to make the space feel so grand, so tall, so much bigger. So definitely don't get curtains until you can get the right size. I ordered mine off IKEA and they look high end. You have to buy all the pieces with it because it is IKEA, so take note when you're adding them to your cart. It will prompt you on some things you might need, but if you'll take the time to do this, it's going to be that designer look for way, way, way cheaper. Another little tip, projects go by so much faster if you have someone there with you. So if it's a spouse or a friend, whatever, because then you can like tag team it. So while Chase is working on getting the brackets hung and where they're gonna go and measuring everything out and getting the right screws and tools and all that, I'm working on the curtain panels and getting them all assembled. So then once it's time to put up the rod, it's just smooth sailing from there.
You got my heartstrings tangled up. You got my heartstrings vibrating for you now. There's something more, but you don't want to admit it. Whoa, we're perfectly opposite.
Since the rod we're using is so long, we don't want it to droop, especially since the curtains are so long. Like you don't want your rod to like dip at all, and I'll be kind of like opening and closing these a lot. So we're gonna do support ones. So you always have them at the end. If you can put one in the middle, good. Here, I'm gonna do it right here, like up here at the top and here, because this is where my curtains are gonna be hanging. If I put it right here in the middle, you would see it because I'm not gonna have a curtain here. So when you'd walk in, you would see a black, like black, black, and black. The way we're gonna do it with the panels themselves is this is gonna be hid, that's gonna be hid, that's gonna be hid, and that's gonna be hid. So you're just gonna see the bar. So really think about where you're gonna put, what is that called? Just the bracket? Yeah. Before you screw it in, because most people would think to do the middle, but then you'd see it because my curtains will be open the majority of the time. So now they'll always be hid, and I'll show you again once it's done. So if you need a more visual, don't fall. I can show you here in a second. Just a little tip, if your husband is helping you, turn on whatever they like to watch. For Chase, right now during this season on a Sunday, it's football, so I turn that on so he doesn't feel like he's missing it. He can still hear it. It helps pass the time. If nothing is on TV, turn on their favorite music. It really does help just like speed up the process and just make it more enjoyable.
I'm slipping away, so don't let me go now. Your love is exceptional, it fills me up, it's out of control, oh baby.
Another thing I like to do when I'm done doing my part is start cleanup. It really does speed up the process, like removing any trash or tools he's no longer using, you know, taking that to the building or wherever it goes. That way when you're done with your project, you're not spending hours cleaning up, and it really does shorten the project time. So you don't feel like every time you do a project, it takes like an entire day. Just like tag team it, get it done as quickly as possible. And then you're more likely to work on more projects in the future.
That I am safe here in your arms.
So now we're putting up the panels, and it is so hard with this system when there's walls to the right and left because we have this really long rod. but you can't like set it in. It like goes through the brackets since we kind of hang it through the ceiling. But I need curtain panels on that are on like little circles, and I need so many hooks on one side of the bracket and on the other. So it's like a balancing act. It's like a puzzle is what it is, but somehow we always figure it out, and then it looks perfect once it's done. This is where I come in. Chase has it hung, but I come in and like perfect it because I want those pleats to look really nice. That's what we did all this work for. So I'm sitting there, I'm working on it, I'm adjusting them. If you need to pull out the steamer, I did that kind of off camera later on in the day when I was sitting there in the evening, but just go ahead and do those finishing touches because those finishing touches are what matter. I know it seems like it doesn't and you're like tired at this point, but just take a moment to get it done, and I promise you it's just gonna elevate your space. I thought this scene was so funny because I had just made our curtains perfect and then I clamped it in the ladder and drug it all the way, so I had to go fix it. That's life right there for you. And just so you see, like, nothing is perfect over here in the Till Vacuum House. We all make mistakes. We all have hiccups. So you're going to have those when you're working on your home projects. Things aren't going to go as expected. It may be bigger than that. It may be smaller than that. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of real life behind the scenes.
Yes, I'm lost in the fun park now. I can never go around. Drove a spiral going down. Yeah, I've been racing you all through town. There's no limit to you.
Now I'm doing some final touches on the rest of the room just to make it look nice. I mean, you don't have to do this extreme, but I feel like it brings everything together, just like tucking in your bed real tight. You're gonna see here in a second, I like karate chop my pillows, and it looks so much nicer than just throwing them up there. Just taking a second to do that and straightening them. This little throw blanket at the end was giving me the hardest time. Normally I can just like toss it on there and it looks perfect, but I was really struggling. But just finishing it out is really nice. And then definitely cleaning your space. If you just take some time to clean your space, it is going to upgrade your home like you wouldn't believe. Declutter, clean, and organize. It's $0. It's a little bit of work, but I promise you your house is always going to look better and feel better if you declutter, clean, and organize. So we might as well get in now. Still the fights always leave a thrill. I can imagine how I will. You go on, I know the drill now. I've been getting high from this drug for longer than I know. Now it's time to go. I'm not letting you push me around, so should have let you know a long time ago. I know what you're gonna say. I know what. And here is how everything turned out. Not gonna stay. Try to get up, you're dragging me down. Better back off, I'll turn it around. This turned out so much better than I was expecting. I'm so glad we just decided to do it. I kept thinking it was gonna like take away from our view, because that was the whole point of this house, was I wanted that view and I didn't want to block it. And if you can tell, it does not block it at all. This is why you're supposed to put your curtain panels, like frame your window, like it should be on the wall, not the window, and that way we still have that straight view. If anything, it's really hard to show you guys because my camera's like, it darkens the space, but it pulls your eyes in even more. It pulls them up, but I feel like it just frames everything that I love about this space. I was so nervous. Like, I've been putting this off. As soon as we moved in, I was like, nope, we're not putting curtains up. And then I kept kind of getting the itch and I kept talking myself out of it. And I'm so, so, so thankful we just went ahead and did it. I'll try to post a picture just so you guys can see it with better lighting, or I'll even show it again later when the sun's not as bright. And now that I have these windows done, I'm in here thinking like, okay, I want to finish out these windows, and I had bought enough. So I have enough to do it in here. Problem is, that last scene I showed you, we had hung some up in the garage, but I've got different window coverings now, so we don't need those. So we're gonna take those down. And then I have them stuffed in different places. Like, this is my tree. And I had them in here to like keep it straight. I may have to find something else, but it may have like been in there long enough that it positioned it right. So I'm gonna have enough. It's just taking a little bit of tweaking. So I've got this one, I've got another new package, and then I have the ones out in the garage. So I think we're gonna be able to finish this off today. While Chase is starting the dining room, I forgot to talk to you about those L brackets. So they're all where my panels are touching or like hanging from. If I put one in the middle, you would see it here. I will say this one's poking out a little bit. We never noticed until we went to hang curtains. This is like not a straight wall. Like we had a hard time getting the pole through, and it had to be adjusted to make it go. But if your walls are straight, you wouldn't even see it. That one you see just a little bit, and I may paint it like our wall color just to like camouflage it, but at least it's hid behind the panels and not out here in the open. So just be careful where you put those. A little perk when you're hanging your curtains all the way to the ceiling like you should be, it cuts out all that measuring because you're not worried about like, is it level, unless your ceiling's not level, but normally you can adjust it a little bit. But it keeps you from like having a wonky curtain rod. And then typically left to right, it's not a big deal because your rod can like slide to the left or right. So it really does make hanging curtains a little bit easier, and it makes them look a whole lot nicer.
So you don't know what you're doing, and the walls are closing in.
This window did not take us long at all because we only had to hang 2 brackets, and then we weren't working around panels. Like we only had to put one little hook on at the outside. Way easier, so quick. It's so funny to think these have been out in my garage, but they look so nice in here. They elevate the space. Once again, you can see I framed the window, so you can still see the whole window and then the curtains start, and look how grand it looks now. We were so busy yesterday hanging all the curtains. I thought we were just going to be doing our bedroom, but we ended up doing the dining room and the living room. So that'll be my fall home tour if you want to see how everything turned out. So we're going to start this project today. We will need to order more, but we wanted to just order 1 box and make sure we liked them before we order another one. So let's test these out. By the way, that's Tiger eating down there if you can hear him. These were so easy to use. So basically it comes with everything you need. It comes with 3 sets of it. It came with the batteries you needed. We got the daylight right here. You can see all you do is press on it. They pop on. We got the daylight bright lights because that's what we use here in our house. If you want the warm light, they're actually way cheaper. So it's just depending on the lights you have in your house. I will always prefer daylight. I think it's bright and airy. It makes your house feel clean. But if you don't already have those bulbs, you could get the warm tone. And like I said, they're even more affordable. And then as you can see, Chase is just like peeling off the sticker part and putting it on the cabinet. Like it is so easy. Anybody can do it. If you have a shorter cabinet, I'm going to show you here in a second, all you do is clip the end. Like you cut it with like any scissors. So easy. When I need the light on, I just walk underneath there and just push on it. And then all of a sudden I have light. It is amazing, so easy to do. I get asked about under cabinet lighting all the time, and I finally found us a solution. This was such an easy, simple upgrade to do. Anybody could do this. It's gonna make your kitchen or whatever space you're needing it for so much nicer. And I know you're wondering what happens when the batteries run out. I filmed a clip for you so Chase could show you how easy it is. You don't have to take the lights down. You just pull down the piece, replace the batteries, and then put it back in. I have the light off now so you guys can kind of tell. I will say we did the daylight bulbs. On camera, it looks okay. I feel like in person it's going a tad bit pink, but I don't know if it's pulling it from my oak cabinets because we have lights like this in our kitchen with white cabinets and they're fine and we have the same backsplash. But it is nice that there's just like a little bit of a glow in here, especially in the evenings, if I don't want like all these big bright lights on. So I'll try to come in here or add a photo of what it looks like tonight. But you can see right here how it's all lit underneath. I'm gonna turn to this side and you can tell it's just like a lot darker. There is some light coming in from the window, but otherwise like in the evening, once that sun passes in the afternoon time, it's just all dark underneath there. So if you're needing something like this, I feel like I get asked all the time about under cabinet lights. It's nice, you just pill, stick them. It's easy to change the batteries, I showed you guys, and then you just go and press it to turn them on. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's home projects. Let me know if you're gonna do one of them down below in the comments section. And just thank you so much for watching today's video and making it until the very end. It helps me out so much. Definitely hit that share button. It helps me out too. I hope you guys have a wonderful week and I will see you in the next one. Bye.